The question is that the motion be agreed to. Eugenie Sage.
This will be a short call on the Agricultural Compounds and Veterinary Medicines Amendment Bill. The Green Party recognises and wants the Primary Sector to have access to the latest technology, both for plant protection and animal health. But we're opposing this bill because we think it's weighted too heavily towards industry rather than the protection of the public. And we want a New Zealand where there is greater use of integrated pest management, greater use of organics, and where there is greater public knowledge about the compounds that are being used to control pests and weeds. And this bill, by extending the data protection, actually mitigates against that. And while Mr Prosser talked a lot, and others have talked a lot about the benefits of extending the secrecy around the compounds that are used in these products, because we don't have a robust assessment of pesticide use in New Zealand by either the Ministry of Primary Industries or the Environmental Protection Authority, we think there needs to be much greater transparency about what chemicals are being used. And I also think if you read the regulatory impact statement from the Ministry of Primary Industries, a lot of the claims that have been made about the commercial benefits of extending data protection are on somewhat shaky ground, because MPI made it very clear in the regulatory impact statement that there was no detailed information by which it could establish the extent to which the current regime and the current 5-year term for keeping information about the composition of these compounds secret resulted in new products or new uses not being registered, or the extent to which it inhibited the development of new products using existing chemistry. So when you've had MPI saying that a precise determination of the net economic impact of any changes is not possible, how can all these assertions be made that it will have significant economic benefits? And so we don't think it's appropriate that we have got legislation going through which will make the current regime less transparent by extending the periods for data protection, extending the non-disclosure periods, when you've only got some anecdotal information where the industry claims that the current rules have discouraged a product from being registered. And Mr Speaker, it's interesting that the current provisions in the current legislation go back to our obligations under the World Trade Organisation Agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. So again, it seems to be where these big chemical companies using international agreements have influenced New Zealand legislation.
Order. I apologise for interrupting the member. This bill is set down for further consideration during the extended sitting, and the House is suspended, and someone will come back to the chair at 9 o'clock tomorrow for that extended sitting.